Hello students, welcome back to my channel. In my previous video, we talked about production possibility curves and the rotational shifts that occur in the PPC curve when it becomes better off at producing just one of the commodity from the two commodities that are listed on the X and the Y axis. In this video, we shall look at the shifts of the PPC curve. So without wasting any time further, let's quickly take a look at what are the different types of shifts the PPC curve can take. Now this is an outward shift. So when the production possibility curve would shift outwards, it would simply mean that the economy is now capable of producing more of both the commodities. We are continuing with the similar example from the previous video. We have computers on the y-axis and cars on the x-axis. So we can see that now more of both commodities are being produced in this particular economy. What are the factors that could lead to this? More resources. So if the economy has more resources on its hands like labor, capital or land, it will be able to produce more goods and services. Say for example, all of a sudden the number of workers available in the economy has increased. In that scenario, it will be able to produce more goods and services, causing the PPC curve to shift outwards. Similarly, any technological advancements are another way that would lead to an outward shift of the PPC curve. Now, when new technologies are making production more smarter, more efficient, it allows economies to make more with the same set of resources that it possesses. The third factor would be efficient use of resources. So when economy is getting better at using whatever resources it has at its disposal, it will be able to boost its output. So we can think of reforms like privatization, say deregulation or trade liberalization. These can help allocate resources more effectively, causing the PPC curve to shift outwards. All right. Now this outward shift in the PPC could be like a signal that would tell us that the economy is getting better at what it is currently doing. It's becoming more productive, and because of this, now it is able to produce more goods and services. So in this graph, as I mentioned earlier, we have computers on the y-axis, cars on the x-axis. The initial PPC curve is this black PPC, and we have a point A here, which means that the economy was attaining full employment at this particular level. But because of any of the three reasons that I just mentioned earlier, the PPC curve is moving outwards to PPC1. Now at this point M, the economy is able to produce more than what it was able to produce earlier at point A. So this is what we mean by an outward shift of the PPC curve. It would move to the right, indicated by this blue arrow. All right. Now, let us quickly take a look at what are the benefits of an outward shift of a PPC curve. So the first thing is there will be more goods and services for everyone. So it means that the economy is able to produce more, and because of this it is able to provide more goods and services to the people, and in turn they can enjoy a better standard of living. You would have also low levels of unemployment. So when economy is producing more, it will definitely need more people, not only to produce those goods and services, but also to deliver those goods and services. So definitely more jobs would be created, and it is a very good thing when it comes to the overall economic development. You would also get price stability. So when PPC expands, it can actually dampen out the inflationary effect. An outward shift in the PPC curve would make society more happier because people would have better access to goods and services. They would enjoy a higher standard of living. They would have better job opportunities. There would be less stress. There will be more happiness, and a stable economy would lead to more welfare being generated for the people. What the government can do to ensure that the PPC curve shifts outwards. So government can take up investing in education and training. So when the citizens of the country are educated, they are skilled, they can do their jobs more efficiently. There would be whole lot of reduction in errors and wastages, and that would help the whole economy. There would be a lot of innovation as well, because government can go ahead and invest in the research and development that would help businesses to find ways to make and produce the goods like internet or fancy smartphones or electric cars. These are all a result of research and development, right? Another thing that the government can do is take care of the sustainability. So not just production, but protecting the environment would also ensure that the future generations that are yet to come would have good times as well. Another step that a government can do is getting into international trade game. So when you trade with other countries, you would have access to a whole world of goods and services, right? You'll be able to get more goods and services than what you can actually produce within your own domestic economy, and it will expand the choices that consumers would get with these imported goods into the domestic economy. So an outward shift would really benefit an economy, and we do have some real life examples. Say for example, we have the tech revolution that happened in US, because of which the internet and smartphones came into existence, and now they are like a basic necessity for everyone, right? Another thing is free trade agreements like NAFTA, NAFTA. They have bought in tons of goods from other countries into the US economy, right? So this can give more affordable and better choices to consumers. Hey students, if you really like my videos, please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Also share this video if you think it is going to help your friends. You know, sharing is caring. So go ahead and share it. Now, this is inward shift. Before we move on to what an inward shift, just imagine that if a country's ability to produce goods and services took a hit, that's when the PPC curve would shift inwards. It happens when there are fewer resources to work with, or the resources might not be as capable of producing as before. So this simply means that the country can't make much of the stuff they need, causing the PPC curve to shift inwards. What are the various reasons that could lead to an inward shift? The first reason is a reduction in the workforce. So maybe many people cannot work due to fewer job opportunities being created in the economy, and a lot of people are out of work, or probably people are not getting employment in full-time based employment opportunities. Another reason could be less capital. Now this could be because probably less money is getting invested into new technologies, or probably there's a natural disaster or a war like we have witnessed since the last year between Russia and Ukraine, right? So it's messing a lot of things up. So both these countries might have experienced a reduction in their overall productive capacity, causing their individual PPC curves to shift inwards. There could be another reason, such as fewer natural resources. So when we talk about fewer natural resources, think about things like running out of resources, like we are running out of fossil fuels, pollution, or climate change, the global warming. So all these can also make it very difficult for certain least developed or underdeveloped or developing countries to produce goods and services at a larger level. Another reason could be low tech levels, or low technical levels, or less technical know-how. So sometimes a lot of countries may not be in a position to invest in research and development, or probably a major earthquake has just reckoned up the technological infrastructure. So that could also lead to a reduction in the productive capacities of the country. Let's quickly take a look at how the inward shift would be depicted on a graph. So we see that this black PPC curve is the initial PPC, where the country is producing on the PPC curve at point A. Now, because of either of the any factors that I just listed, the PPC curve has shifted to the left. The PPC curve has shifted to the left, and now it is placed at PPC 1. So the new combination of goods that are being produced at point M is way smaller than the combination that is produced at point A on the initial PPC curve. When the PPC curve is shifting inwards, the economy does not grow as much, as people might not have access to a lot of good quality goods, and they may not have good jobs. So people might be actually out of work. you would see prices of things going up since there's not much to go around in the economy. And it would even make people more stressed because their standard of living is going down. And you may see a lot of violence activities being taken up by the people to protest against the government, since they would be very, very disappointed with how the government is handling those things. But there are a lot of things that the government can actually do to make things better. So the first thing the government can do is teach people new skills to make them better at whatever jobs they are willing to take or they are already employed in. Government can try to invest in new technology that will help people to work smarter. The government can take initiatives to keep the environment healthy, so at least people would have a good environment to breathe in, because a calmer environment would automatically calm down your mind and reduce the stress. And government could engage in a lot of trading activities with other countries to acquire all those commodities which are needed domestically but are not being produced domestically. So by doing these things, the government can make sure that the country keeps moving forward, and even when things get tough, it is in a position to take care of the citizens of the country, right? Now, there are certain examples that we can take a look at when we talk about the inward shift of the PPC curve. The very first example that I'm going to quote is something that we've already experienced for good 2.5 years. It's the COVID-19 pandemic. So COVID-19 pandemic has caused a significant inward shift of the PPC curve in many countries, as their production units, their offices were closed due to worldwide lockdowns. There are some other situations as well. I've mentioned it earlier, but I would like to quote again. So you could say a natural disaster like a hurricane or earthquake. We just experienced an earthquake in Morocco 2 days ago. So these natural calamities can also destroy infrastructure, which can easily disrupt the productive abilities. A war, as I mentioned earlier, could also lead to an inward shift. Many a times, government policies could also restrict trade, leading to an inward shift in the PPC. This would happen specifically if we are importing raw materials and we are not able to produce more now. So the production of this XYZ commodity for which the raw materials are getting imported might be negatively impacted, causing the overall productivity of the economy to shift inwards in terms of PPC. All right. So this is what an inward and outward shift of the PPC would look like. All right, students, I'll meet you in another video with another topic. Bye now. Take care.